It's just 8 days until Christmas and only about 72 hours till many of us will be going to see The Rise of Skywalker in theaters. As we lead up to the movie release, I just finished listening to The Force Awakens on audiobook, and I would encourage you, if you get a chance to do so, you can download a public library app called Libby, Libby, for free. Link a library card to it. If you don't have one, just go down to your local library and sign up for a library card. You link that on the app, and then you can download audiobooks and digital media for free. And that's what I've done. I've listened to many of the new Star Wars books on audiobook through that Libby app. And you can pick the playback speed. There's a lot of great features there. So all of that's free. And as I listen to the book again, as we lead up to the Rise of Skywalker, just a few things came out to me that I thought I would touch base on here. One of the first is when Rey and Finn are talking about her background. She mentions that she's been flying all sorts of different vehicles since about the time she could walk. Earlier I did a video on why I like Rey's character, and I compared her to Anakin in the Phantom Menace, when people talk about her piloting skills and her training, and how Anakin was flying at a very, very young age, far too young for his skills, but yet he had those skills due to his force sensitivity and his ability to have enhanced reflexes and to be able to see slightly into the future. So Rey mentions that since the time she's been walking, she's been flying all sorts of different craft. So that helps reinforce and support that narrative that she is a pilot when she tells Finn, "You have a pilot." We also get a little bit more backstory from when Poe was ejected from the TIE fighter on Jakku, and the story about how he was found and how he came back to the Resistance. There's a neat little scene in there that happens as well between some pirates, and it's a fun scene. So again, I encourage it that you get a chance to watch it. And I know people will complain, well, movies shouldn't have to have a book to explain more. And I generally agree with that. I'm not much of a book reader myself. I never really delved into books all that much. But I will say that about every single novelization that's been made into a movie, the novel has far more detail and content than the movies do. It's just that people typically come to the movie through the books. And in those cases, that backstory, that additional content is carried by the viewer into the movie. And for the casual audience that hasn't read the books, the movie plays out fine, but there may be pieces of it that don't understand or that aren't fully explored that the people who have read the books bring into the conversation. So I see this the same way. It's just sort of in reverse. The movies came first, and then the novelizations. Of course, the novelizations can expand on that. So we see a little more into Rey's backstory and her piloting skills. We see more into Poe and how he was rescued and brought back. And throughout the book, you get these kind of examples of additional story elements that just aren't fully explained. I know another, or in the movie, they're not shown in the movie. I know that another one of the complaints is about how Rey gets these force powers from Kylo when she's going through the mind probe, and when he's using the force to extract her memories. And there's a little bit more in the book concerning that as well, and how that happened and how she interpreted it. So agree with it, disagree with it, like it or don't. The book does add a bit more depth to the story that's I think worth investing some time in. And again, it didn't cost you anything to get the library app. to get a library card and to download the content. So if you get a chance, I'd encourage you to do that. Secondly, as we've been leading up to the Rise of Skywalker, I've been watching Resistance, and Resistance is kind of filling in some of the holes on what's going on outside of the main storyline. It overlaps with the Force Awakens and with The Last Jedi. You see events that are happening at the same time those movies were taking place. That doesn't really add to the main storyline, except that we know there are other Resistance folks out there that were not able to respond to Leia's call to action, and this group is one of those. So the Resistance is bigger than just the folks we see on the Millennium Falcon at the end of The Last Jedi. Then the third part is, I know that the worldwide release is happening later tonight, and there's going to be some early viewing screenings where media are invited, and some important folks are invited, VIPs, so to speak. And starting tonight and going through the next few days, I'm going to try my best to stay out of YouTube. I'm going to try to stay out of social media and try to insulate myself from some of the news stories that are going to be coming out, especially from the detractors, the folks who are wanting to kind of spoil the movie. Those bits that they're going to be releasing could indeed spoil it, and I would like to better just receive that myself. I know I've read a lot of the spoilers, I've gone through it, but being able to avoid the detractors, the people who are taking some of the scenes and kind of spinning them in a negative light in order to decrease anybody's enjoyment. That's not what I'm looking for, and I really don't think that's a healthy attitude to take into a movie. And I want to go in as fresh and open as I can. So over the next couple days, I'm going to go ahead and download The Last Jedi on an audiobook. I'll listen to that, and before I go see the movie, I'll post another video like this. This is fairly short, but I want to lead up to the Rise of Skywalker by reviewing these last two movies in audiobook format. So if you have had a chance to read those books, you have any thoughts or comments that you'd like to add, especially here with The Force Awakens, please let me know. And again, I would say we've got Santa's mailbox back here. If there's any idea or topic that you would like to discuss further, submit those. We'll put them in the mailbox and pull them out for future videos. Again, thank you so much. May the Force be with you, and Merry Christmas, everybody.